These aren't skills you must learn, they're trends reshaping what organizations value. And here's where neurodivergence comes in again. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Right, I need to say something that might be controversial. Everyone's obsessed with future-proof skills right now. The World Economic Forum releases their list, LinkedIn posts it everywhere. All of a sudden, we're all supposed to learn the same 5 things or be left behind. But here's my question. What if you're neurodivergent? What if you learn differently to everyone else? What if your brain is literally wired differently?
Thanks, Hayley. Let me show you a problem with every future skills article you've ever read. They all say the same thing. Learn AI, develop resilience, build systems thinking, master emotional intelligence, embrace lifelong learning, and then what? You're supposed to tick them all off like a shopping list? But that's not how humans work, and it's definitely not how workplaces work. Let me give you an example. Take resilience. Every list says you need it, fair enough. The world's uncertain, things change fast, and you need to adapt. But what does resilience actually look like? For some people, resilience is staying calm under pressure, steady, unflappable. For others, particularly people with ADHD, resilience is being brilliant at pivoting when plans fall apart. They're not calm, they're energized by chaos. For someone who's autistic, resilience might look like having detailed systems and routines that help them navigate unpredictability. Same word, completely different behaviors, all equally valuable. So here's what we're doing instead. I'm going to show you 3 things that are becoming critical in workplaces over the next 5 to 10 years, not because of AI, although AI is part of it, but because of bigger shifts happening in the world. These aren't skills you must learn, they're trends reshaping what organizations value. The question isn't, can I do all 3? It's, where do I fit into this landscape? Because the future of work isn't about everyone becoming the same. It's about understanding what's valuable and contributing in your own way. Let's dig in. First thing that's becoming critical, systems awareness. Now, every skill list calls this systems thinking and tells you to learn it. But that's misleading. Systems awareness isn't a skill you either have or don't have. It's about understanding how things connect, and different people see those connections in completely different ways. Let me introduce you to 3 people who all contribute to systems awareness, but in totally different ways. Maya is autistic. She sees patterns that other people miss. When her company was rolling out a new software system, everyone else was focused on training and timelines. Maya spotted something nobody else saw. If they launched the system in December, it would clash with year-end reporting, which would overload the finance team, which would delay January planning, which would mess up Q1 targets. She didn't learn systems thinking. Her brain is wired to see cascading consequences. Dev is dyslexic. He struggles with written documentation, so he learned early to understand systems by touching every part of the process himself. When his warehouse implemented new inventory tracking, Dev couldn't make sense of the manual, so he spent a week working every station, receiving, sorting, packaging, dispatch. He saw bottlenecks that people who'd only read the documentation missed, because he experiences systems physically, not theoretically. Aisha has high emotional intelligence. She understands systems through people, how decisions in one department affect morale in another. When her company changed their returns policy to save money, everyone celebrated the cost savings. Aisha saw it differently. She knew it would frustrate customers, which would increase complaint volume, which would burn out her team. She didn't analyze a flowchart. She felt the system through human impact. 3 people, 1 skill, completely different contributions. So if you've ever felt like you don't get systems thinking the way it's taught, good, because the way it's taught is probably wrong for how your brain works. The question isn't, can I think in systems? It's, how do I already see connections that others don't? Second thing that's becoming critical, continuous evolution. Now, every list calls this lifelong learning and tells you to take courses, read books, get certifications. But that assumes everyone learns the same way. They don't. Staying relevant isn't about consuming content. It's about evolving in a way that works for your brain. Let me show you 3 people who are all continuously evolving, but none of them look like lifelong learners. Rashid is a software developer. He's autistic, and he absolutely hates formal training. Courses make him anxious, workshops feel performative, group learning environments overwhelm him. But Rashid is one of the most technically current people in his company. How? He learns by doing. He takes on projects that require new technology, then figures it out as he builds. He joins niche online communities where he can learn asynchronously. He's evolving constantly, just not in classrooms. Emily is dyslexic. Reading is exhausting. Long articles, dense reports, textbooks, they don't work for her. But Emily is brilliant at learning from people. When her company started using a new project management system, everyone else was sent a 40-page manual. Emily ignored it. Instead, she booked coffee with 5 different people who are all already using it. She asked them to show her, not explain, show her. She watched, she asked questions, she learned by seeing it in action. She was fluent faster than people who'd read the manual cover to cover. Tom has been in sales for 25 years. He doesn't go to conferences, he doesn't read business books, he doesn't have a personal development plan. And yet, Tom's one of the most effective salespeople in his industry. Because Tom evolves through client conversations. Every sales call teaches him something. He pays attention to what works, what doesn't, what's changing in how people buy. He's learning constantly. He just doesn't call it learning. Rashid learns by building. Emily learns from people. Tom learns from doing his job. None of them look like lifelong learners, yet all of them are evolving. So if you've ever felt guilty about not taking enough courses, stop. That's not the only way to stay relevant. The question isn't, am I learning enough? It's, am I evolving in a way that suits how my brain works? The third thing that's becoming critical, and this one's uncomfortable, environmental and social consciousness. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've heard this before. Sustainability, green jobs, corporate social responsibility. But here's what's changed. For the last 5 years, the environment has been pushed to the back burner. We've had a pandemic, wars, economic uncertainty, the rise of AI, political chaos, and quietly, whilst we've all been distracted, parts of the world have been experiencing devastating floods, fires, droughts, and displacement. Supply chains are disrupted by extreme weather. Insurance costs are skyrocketing, regulations are tightening, investors are demanding accountability. And here's where neurodivergence comes in again. Different people contribute to this in completely different ways. Abby has anxiety. She's always thinking 3 steps ahead about what could go wrong. When her company was reviewing suppliers, everyone else was focused on cost and delivery times. Abby asked different questions. What happens if the supplier's region floods? Do we have backup options? Are we dependent on a single source that could disappear? Her anxiety made her the only person thinking about environmental risk before it became a crisis. Mike is autistic. He thinks in systems, and he can't unsee waste. When his company was designing new packaging, everyone else was focused on aesthetics and cost. Mike kept asking, but where does it go after the customer throws it away? What happens in 20 years when we've produced 1 million of these? He redesigned the entire packaging system to be circular, not because he's an environmentalist, but because waste offends his sense of logic. Environmental and social consciousness isn't about everyone becoming activists. It's about people with different wiring contributing to the problem in different ways. Right. Let's pull this together. We've just looked at 3 things that are becoming valuable in workplaces: systems awareness, continuous evolution, environmental and social consciousness. But notice what we didn't do. We didn't give you a checklist. We didn't tell you to learn 3 new skills. We didn't put you in a box. Because the future of work isn't about everyone becoming the same. It's about understanding what's becoming valuable and then figuring out where you fit in.
Brilliant, Sean, thank you. Look, if you take one thing from today, let it be this. Future skills lists are broken, not because they're wrong about what matters, but because they assume that we all learn, adapt, and contribute in the same ways. We don't. Your autism, ADHD, anxiety, your dyslexia, these are not things to overcome on your way to becoming future-proof. These are often your competitive advantage if you lean into them. Tomorrow is Dress Down Friday. See you then.